Welcome to Tallin, Estonia. We're here for the annual World Junior Curling Championships 2015. We'll be handing you some live coverage here from the World Curling Federation. This is the Tondreba Ice Hall, newly built, as we're here for the men's first draw. It's Canada playing Norway, looking to put a first win on the board.
So we've got the first draw of the World Championships, so everyone's starting off with a clean slate. Throwing the red stones, we've got,
Taking a look at the standings first, it's Canada on top, but they might not be after this draw, because no games so far, obviously. Estonia, host nation, has a spot at the Worlds this year for the first time. And here's the rest of the teams. 10 teams in the men's competition, also in the women's. And we'll be seeing a little bit from the women's later on. So, Team A, Alison.
All right, well, we've got Braden Calvert, the skip. We've got Kyle Kurtz, Lucas Vanden Bosch, and Brendan Wilson with Colton Lott, their alternate.
Yeah, making it back a second time in a row. Canada, same team played in Flims last year, Switzerland. As we take a look at the Norwegian lineup as well, at lead and skip, actually, Gaute Nepstad, second player, Wilhelm Ness, third is Martin Sessaker, and playing the fourth rocks is Markus Skogvold. Alternate, Peder Siksjø, and team coach is Stein Mellemsetter. So, just about to get started here. My name is Sander Ulvåg. I'm joined by the lovely Alison Krajazuk.
Very good.
And, you see the teams just taking a few practice lines here. Both teams have had a 9-minute practice before the games. And they've also thrown a few LSDs, last on draws, to determine who's going to have the last on advantage for the first end. And, it looks like Norway's going to start, so that means Hammer has the advantage, and
Canada will have Hammer in the first end.
Canada throwing the red rocks, Norway the yellow. Excited, Alison?
Yeah, little different experience here, being behind the rink as opposed to playing on it. So, but super exciting.
So we're going to take our first look at Gaute Nepstad, skip of the Norwegian team, but also throwing the lead rocks, sort of the Margrethe Sigfridsson style.
Yeah.
And he has mentioned her as one of his role models, along with Ben Hebert, also a fairly good lead.
Fairly good sweeper.
He's not going to have to do a lot of sweeping today, only in behind the tee line. But his draw weight is spot on. We're going to say the hit from Canada, so a bit of a cautious opening.
Usually we'll see in the first couple ends, especially a new game at the World Championship, you'll be able to see a pretty open first couple ends. People are getting used to the ice and making sure they're not getting in too heavy.
Definitely the biggest guy out there on our feature sheet. Looking for the takeout in this red one, looking a bit wide at the moment.
He seems pretty straight this afternoon. Not too much curl coming to the inside. So it's good to throw the down weight just to make sure that you're getting control and bringing your sweepers into it.
Well, certainly can control the line fairly well on championship ice.
Absolutely.
So Brendan Wilson saw him play that nose hit with his first one. This is his second stone, and is looking for the corner guard, I believe. But this one is going to have to look to cross the center line.
Nice shot. Nice weight.
Yeah, it just comes off the centre, and Norway's not going to want to play around with the scar. It's going to just try and take it off. So some clearing to be done for Wilhelm Ness, second player for Norway. And what you'll see often at the championships is you might have a lot of curl on your draws, but the takeouts, the up weights, they might run really straight, and might be a little bit different for teams that might have curl even on the up weight shots in their clubs.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
But both these teams obviously played in the juniors last year, so they do have some experience on championship ice.
Yeah.
This is actually the replay of the bronze final from last year, where Norway came out victorious.
Yes. So great first game opening.
Lucas van den Bosch here, second for Canada, looking for revenge, so to speak. Looking for the corner guard. And
throwing the other side, evening up both sides of the sheet.
A little bit heavy slips into the rings, but it's a kind of a missed opportunity. But
I got 16.
Don't think you'll see,
16.
you know, a
Too
nose
many.
hit.
No. Looked like he knew it was heavy out of his hand as well.
Canada did have first practice, and they played 2 tee draws. It's sort of new for this season. You got to play one in-turn and one out-turn draw before the game starts to determine hammer, and also every player on the team has to throw at least 2 in-turns and out-turns over the course of the week.
Yeah, so that was new as of January 1st this year, so I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, we did that for, I was out playing the university games in Granada. We did that. It was fun for me, at least, as a lead, being actually able to play a draw to try and win the hammer. So participating, I think it's good for, you know, all the players to participate in that part of the game.
Gives everyone a chance to learn their draw weight as well, so.
You know, also the new changes, we'll only have one tiebreaker session. So the tee draw just becomes all the more important. Martin Sessake, third for Norway, gets a chance to practice his draw weight. No colourful pants for the Norwegians.
No.
Are you disappointed?
A little bit. I think you've just gotten so used to them. I like the 3/4 ones that they had before. The shorter pants. that was different.
The knickerbockers.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, Team Ulster is sporting in knickerbockers and sixpence hats at the Olympics in Sochi. Going for the more conservative style here.
If anyone can pull it off, it's them.
Kyle Kearse, third for Canada.
Just clean. Yep.
Electing to make the nose hit here.
That's good. Yeah.
Martin Sessake played the Youth Olympics in Innsbruck. So he's got even a little bit more experience on championship ice. Rolls out on this occasion.
Such an advantage to have played in an arena before and have that experience.
Yeah, Sessake, he played the mixed doubles event they do at the Youth Olympics when they play with players from other from other nations.
Yep.
He got a silver medal. Kind of a fun concept, and I hear that they're doing something a little bit different for this year as well. If I'm not mistaken, teams that get knocked out in this competition, being before the playoff weekend, they'll play sort of fun spiel, mixed doubles spiel, in the club just next to this this ice hall.
Yeah, right next to this wall here.
3-sheet dedicated curling rink.
It's a great facility.
Marcus Skogvold playing fourth rocks for Norway here, coming down with this nose hit, no problem. Sticks around, always nice to just pull off a few shots, even though.
Yeah, great control of the weight too.
Control.
Braden Calvert and his team had a really good run at the Manitoba Provincials. Just not too many, just a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Lost out in the 3-4 page game to Jeff Stoughton. So you're going to have to be.
Who just announced his retirement.
He did.
Sadly, he will be missed. Or as he calls it, the R word.
Yeah, I didn't like to say the word retired.
No.
He's going to step back from the game.
Yeah, it's a tough word to say.
Did you retire, Alison?
I don't like the R word. Don't think so.
6. Little touch.
Right.
Can't
There you
seem
have
to
it.
think
Alison
of it.
might be
Yeah.
back in action, and you will be back in action at the Players' Championship,
I
won't you?
will, yes. Yeah, I'll be playing with Margareta Sigurdsson, sparing for Maria Wennerstrom, who is currently pregnant and expecting. So that's fantastic. I was over the moon to get that invite. So yeah, I'm very pumped. We're having lots of practices before and trying to get my my line to be what it used to be.
I'm sure you have tons of fans just looking forward to seeing you on ice again.
Oh yeah, especially my parents, #1 fans.
So blank end here. Braden Calvert makes the peel on that stone at the back of the house. So no score so far in this first end of our future game. And the hammer will still remain in the Canadian house for the second end. We're going to take a look elsewhere in the arena today. We have 5 games going on. All teams in the men's competition are out there playing. Just next to us, Alison, we have Switzerland playing Korea. It's the Swiss team of Yannick Schwaller, who won the gold medal in Flames last year. They've yet to finish their first end. Estonia playing Italy, just next to our future game. We also have Sweden playing Russia. And the last game out there is Scotland playing USA. So lots of interesting curling going on.
Absolutely. With Estonia, with their very first World Championship, first game, they must be absolutely excited.
Yeah, some nice development going on with curling in Estonia. Now we finally have a real proper curling rink. So it'll be interesting to see how they do further on. Curling is a really growing sport, one of the fastest growing winter sports in the world. It's really nice to see new teams popping up everywhere. Like Turkey, they had podium finishes at the qualifying for the Worlds. Both the girls, they lost the final, and the guys, they got the bronze medal. So they're very close to making it to the Worlds. Turkey also.
They had some team last year from Kazakhstan, and Brazil is getting into curling. I think it's great.
So some action here now, Alison, in the second end. Centre guard up from Norway, and Wilson's going to have to try and come around the centre, see how much finish you get on the rocks here. Does pass the guard by about a rock. You see, there's not massive swing, but
enough to tuck about half of it.
Did have some problems with the ice yesterday. Mark Callan, the head ice maker, one of the absolute best we've got. So whatever the ice is the best it's going to be. But yesterday, I think one of the other ice holes in this complex kind of took all the power away from Mark, and kind of heated up the ice. So a few teams had a bit of an issue with practice yesterday on warm ice. But it's back up and running now, so I think we're just going to see the ice getting better and better throughout the week. It might just be a little bit green still.
That's usually the case with the championships. You know, the ice makers usually try and tinker with it a little bit, and by the end of the week, it's absolutely spot on. It's exactly where you want it to go, and speed is perfect. They were very spoiled being able to play in such great conditions.
So, out to Nepstad, looking for the freeze, but came up a bit heavy. I tried to sweep it around the red, but just called that too late. Rubs off the red, lies in the open, so a good chance for Canada to lie two here.
Tried to roll away a little bit, but ends up sticking there.
10.5.
Gives Norway the chance to get a good one roll in behind.
I think especially when the ice does run a bit straight, these hit and rolls are so key. If you can't draw around the guards easily enough to, you know, the hit and rolls are so important.
Yeah.
They always are, but.
Same within the beginning of throwing tight guards to for later tapping them up, or just rubs.
Yeah, over curls gets a bit lucky, but Canada still with a chance to lie two.
Try and hit and roll away to take the hit and roll under away from the Norwegian team.
Ten 5. 10 5. 10. Yep. 10 5. Hard. Hard. Hard, guys. Hard. Hard roll. Hard roll. Hard roll.
Nice shot. Nice little roll away.
Yeah. 10.5.
Lucas is bilingual. He speaks both English and French.
Okay.
Do you speak any French?
Maybe in the past. I took some French as a kid, but when you don't use it for a long time, it starts to get away from you. So it was always Emma that did the French interviews for the team, which was very much appreciated.
Emma Miskew?
Yes, yeah.
Because you were on Rachel Homan's team when they qualified for the World Juniors in Flims back in 2010. But you were too old.
I was.
For
I was a
the Canadian Juniors.
Yeah, the age difference. They've changed it this year, but the age difference in Canada was always by 1 year. So it was 20 in Canada and 21 for the World. So I was eligible for Worlds, but not for the Canadians that year.
So you came as a fifth.
I did, yes. And it was a ton of fun. I had such a great time. Switzerland is stunning.
Well, we've taken time to get to know Estonia as well. Really nice town square, the old town.
Yep.
It's on the UNESCO list.
Yep.
So
Beautiful, beautiful downtown.
Norway still looking to make this roll. It's a bit of a cat and mouse at the moment.
Yeah, whoever makes it first.
But no. Just going to check in, but not enough. And Canada's just going to split the rings again.
Control. Yep. Oh.
Really nice roll. No double on, so still just going to have to try and make that roll. And especially at the start of the game on, fairly new ice for them, sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out how much it's going to curl, because you might have 4 players throw the rock a bit differently.
Absolutely.
And you'll get the hang of it over the week, but for the first game you're sort of guessing a little bit. So even though you've tried the same shot 6 times, you have 3 different guys throwing it. A lot closer this time. Doesn't quite have enough weight, I think.
Nice shot, though. Tucks a piece in. Love the intensity.
You take my goddamn breath away.
And to go back to what you were saying before about everyone throwing differently, I think that's such a great practice to have going into these competitions of, have the same line for everyone on the team and see where everyone's rocks turn out, see what the differences are that everyone has.
Yep.
Great shot.
Yep, doesn't remove the yellow, but no need to, because the 2 reds are closer. It's going to be a score in this end anyway. And unless Marcus Skogwall makes a really nice hit and roll here, Braden Calvert's going to be able to score 2. So very close with his first one here.
A nice open 2 as well. Not getting too junked up, just keeping it simple, but maintaining the deuce.
Oh, this looks pretty good. Or does it roll a bit too far? Well,
it's making Canada play the other side, though. So fresh side that maybe they don't know so well. So still a great shot.
yeah, good point. They're going to have to maybe throw this rock down some fresh pebbles. So, I might be second guessing a wee bit when it comes to the line and the weight. So this is where focus and your 9-minute practice really comes into play. Do you remember, did we throw any rocks down the spot?
They
did we know how much it curls?
They did. Well, they threw their out turn to the pin, and they were actually giving the same line as they're giving now for their hit. It looks like he's a bit tight.
Yeah, I think he's just caught a fresh path here, and you see this rock really slowing up on him.
Yeah.
It's barely enough to make it to the rings. So, just worked out for Norway there.
Yeah.
Rolled to the other end. Forced Calvert to play the out-turn hit, and didn't come off.
Might have just gotten a touch on the tighter side, and the weight really, really dies off with fresh pads. As a thrower, that's a great thing to keep in mind for the first couple of ends, is if you're not sure, you always add on a few extra feet just in case. Arena ice, it's usually never a problem. It'll come back.
Still a good chance here, though. They're got shots thrown in behind the center guards. And seems like they're playing the draw.
Well, they know the line quite well for this spot, so looking to take one in behind the red there. Sweeper's really trying to drag it.
And just over curls. And Braden Calvert's going to get his shot for 2 anyway. So like I mentioned, Braden Callert from Manitoba. This is the third year in a row Manitoba's sent a team for the men's competition.
That's fantastic.
Where Braden Calvert playing last year, and the year before you had Matt Dunstan and his team playing. And you know, a fifth man for Calvert this year is Colton Lott, who's Matt Dunstan's third, while Matt himself was the alternate last year. Played each other in the final.
Yep.
I think a bit of a heavy loss for Matt and the guys. They gave up a steal of 2 in the 9th and another steal of 1 in the 10th to lose the game.
That's a tough loss.
Nice to see that Manitoba has 2 really good teams on the junior end.
Absolutely.
To you know, take over for Jeff Stoughton. That he's stepped away from the game.
Yes.
So not quite pulling off the shot for 2 here, Braden. Only he's going to score the 1.
He had to have rolled first.
Just important not to
Out of the house. That's still not
worry too much about that.
Still
you know,
very early in the game. Got a long way to go.
Yeah, if you're first team on the scoreboard is always nice, I think. Just think of it that way.
And hammer in the even ends. Not too bad.
So just waiting for that 1 minute clock to run out. Between every end there's 1 minute for just the umpires to put the scores on the board and the teams to get ready. And you know, that minute's nice to just have a little chat in between ends. Maybe have a plan for the end.
Yep.
Wilson throwing the draw to the house, I believe. So Cannon is saying we're 1 up. Norway, if you want to score 2, you're going to have to put the corner guard up. Nice draw weight.
And we'll get a corner guard here.
Yeah, these Norwegian guys played really aggressive last year, and you know, they were in the top of the round robin when they came through to the playoffs. So they were maybe a little bit disappointed with only getting the bronze medal, but they played aggressive, and I think that's what worked so well for them, because a lot of teams played a little bit cautiously last year. So just putting a little pressure on your opponent can go a long way, I think.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're playing 6 or 7 teams that are playing defensive and you're playing defensive games, all of a sudden you run into an opponent that's playing aggressive. You might be a little caught off. So I think that maybe worked to Norway's benefit last year. So it'll be interesting to see how they employed their tactics this time around.
Put some added pressure on the team.
Different skip for Norway.
Yep.
Eirik Mjøen skipped the team last year.
Yeah. Aged out this year.
Yep. But
the rest of the team has stayed the same.
And they picked Gaute Nepstam to be the skip because just figured he was the smartest guy on the team, and although he hasn't done a lot of skipping prior to this season, they just figured he'd you know, learn it quickly enough. He's also bilingual, or he speaks German pretty well. So some smart guys out on the ice today.
They all seem to be able to speak English as well, and we were chatting with them earlier.
Oh yeah.
Nice group of guys.
So
great tight guard.
well, Nepstad can see a piece of the red shawl here. Just trying to come after it. Maybe just a bit of an overthrow. Maybe a bit of a missed line call. But at least he's going to punch that redstone in from behind cover out to the wing.
So Canada looking to sit above the tee line here.
coming around the center guard again.
Just comes a touch too deep. Seem to have left room for two, though.
So Norway with hammer, not going to come around the center. Don't want to be lured into the trap by Canada. So they're playing the slash, I believe, trying to pick off the center guard, maybe catch the one on the winger as well. Right in between both the Reds in the back, but a bit of a bonus. Rolls into the house, actually. Not sure if they were expecting that.
I wonder how much of it is covered there. Oh, they're looking to play the hit, so you can see a piece of it then. There we go. Just got about 3/4 of the rock there.
Yeah, Lucas van den Bosch just laying the soft weight. Waiting for a line so far. You know, I always hate playing the out turn out to the left of the sheet, or playing the in turns to the right. Not my favorite shot, and maybe not. Maybe the same goes for Lucas, because he goes right by it. Leaves the one yellow and the house, and gives Norway an opportunity to remove these reds in the back. Lemnes. Plays the double, actually.
Nice shot.
Super shot. And Norway now lying two.
And just like that, the control Norway.
Willems is a bit of an energetic guy. He came with us as a fifth for the 2013 Uni Games, and he was just all over the place.
I think it's fun having those people on the team. Really lift your spirits.
He might be alternating with fifth, Sigsjö. Well, I guess all depending on how it goes. They have been did have a 5-man team last year and did some rotation, so they might do that for this week as well. We'll see. Calvert calls the nose hit on the wing, and Nepstad does the same.
Canada hoping for a hit and roll out.
Yeah, really not much more to do at this point.
No.
Maybe if see a couple more nose hits coming up here, you might try the hit and roll.
As it inches its way a little bit higher.
Yeah. So Calvert's looking for a little roll to the central line right now, but I think I'd be tempted to just play the nose hit and just try and keep the shooter as high as possible.
With the ice being straight on hits, it's easy to just come out and let it go a touch wide, and it doesn't seem to be too forgiving in that sense. So hoping for a rollout might not be too extreme.
Well, he does get the nose hit, so I don't think that's a bad thing for Canada. If you see Norway playing the nose hit now again, the stone's almost on the tee line. Just a better chance for Canada to maybe make a roll in behind the corner.
Especially with the rock being just biting the 12-foot. Got some area to roll to. Still a tough one, but and there's the opportunity Canada was hoping for. Getting a chance to throw this line again.
When you play these open ends, just a bit of a miscue just can ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
When you got 15 stones in play, you might. There's always a plan B.
Yeah. Little wick here.
So it's never a good feeling rolling out when you feel like the deuce is in your pocket.
No, that's for sure.
Braden Calvert is going to try this shot that Lucas missed earlier in the end. Maybe a bit of a straight spot. Back on it now though, so looking pretty good.
Nice shot.
And decision time for Norway. He wants to draw around the corner guard. I would say that's a good call,
yes.
An aggressive call. You might see a lot of teams play that hit on the redstone out in the wing, but you're not going to generate your deuce that way.
Well, depends on what your end goal is too. This blanking here isn't the end of the world, and taking hammer in the fourth end, but.
So yeah, as long as you are able to lie shot in behind the corner guard here, it seems like.
Add some pressure.
Yep. It's a fairly long corner guard, but again, not too much swing. So it could be hard to come after this one if he gets it buried.
Looks like it's riding the center line.
It's going to pass the corner guard by quite a lot. A little bit finisher in the end here. Just trying to drag it.
Great weight.
Yeah. Weight's perfect, but I think Marcus has a bit of an aggressive release, so we might have to soften that up a little bit if the ice is going to be running a little bit straight like this.
Yep.
Or just take tighter ice.
Throw it to make it.
I got about a half rock again. Okay.
A good thing for Braden is he's pretty much throwing the exact same shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you love doing as a thrower. Well, last time I did this.
Wants to stick around too, though. So if he can lie 2 years, going to force Norway to try and take their one. Rolls to the button, and I would be surprised if they're going to play the hit here. And he has called the hit. So last stone in the third end for Norway, trailing by one, looking to tie things up. Being forced here to score their one. This one making a move. Can they keep it? Yes, they will. And one for Norway.
Tie game here going into the fourth end.
So, let's see if we can get some updates from the other games. If we look at Scotland USA, they had a blank first end. Scotland scored 2 in the second, so they're leading 2 shots to nothing. Sweden scored a single in the first against Russia. Second end is blanked, so Sweden leading 1-0. And Estonia is off to a flyer. They scored 1 in the first end. Actually stole a 1 in the first end, maybe. All depending on how that scoreboard works.
Yeah, I see the hammer at the bottom there. Stole 1 in the first,
and they stole 2 in the second. So they're up 3 against Italy. So that's really positive start for the host nation. Really nice to see. And on the sheet, just close to us here, Alison, it's a tied game between Switzerland and Korea. They've scored 1 each, just like on our future game here between Norway and Canada. It's just about 2:45 in the afternoon here in Tallin.
Not as bad of a time change for me. Only a 1 hour difference now.
Because you live in Karlstad, Sweden?
We do, yeah. I ran into the Canadian boys' parents at the airport who had been talking about their million-hour travel time, and I do not miss that, that's for sure.
I was talking to fifth man Colton Lott for Canada yesterday. He was looking a bit woozy, only slept an hour.
Sleeping on a
2
plane
nights
is
ago.
tricky.
So we'll usually see the Canadians come out a few days earlier than the other teams to just kind of, you know, get used to the hours.
The time change, yeah. They usually save 1 hour a day that your body takes to adjust to the new place. So
I never had a problem with that, to be honest.
No?
I can sleep whenever.
I am bad with jet lag.
So that obviously is something to keep in mind. The Canadians having a maybe a little harder time adjusting to the time zone for the first draw. I wouldn't say that's going to be something you can complain about later in the week, but surely for the first day you might feel extra tired.
Then again, with your adrenaline rushing of your first game of the competition, and you just had your opening ceremonies, you might be doing okay right now, I think.
Did it feel very different for you to go to Switzerland for the juniors? I mean, it feels like you have so much competition in Canada, so all the Canadian teams, you just play on the Canadian circuit for the most part, maybe not traveling to Europe as often, especially as a young team.
I was going to say, especially as juniors, right? You don't have as much of an opportunity to travel to Europe to compete against these teams. So it's such a fantastic opportunity for these teams to compete against each other on fantastic ice, and they're such great events. They're run so well and get treated like royalty while you're here. There's nothing greater than representing your country. It's a great feeling.
Very often, all these European teams, you know, they're good friends and they know each other very well. So when a Canadian team comes in, they might feel a bit out of place. But as we know, the curling community is very including.
Yeah,
so
it is.
We're all friends by the end of the week.
Great group of people. It's one of my favorite things about the sport.
So a couple of stones in play here in this fourth end. 2 centre guards up after that missed draw by Canada. But came around
Tucks
here on
one
this
in there,
last
good.
attempt. Ness trying with a soft way to come around the guards, but just going to chip off the top one. 2 on the winger. But remember, Canada having last stone now, so we're going to have to try and generate a deuce.
Like that? Yeah, like that. I like that. Control. Okay.
Tummy tap is control. Wait.
Okay.
All teams have different hand
signal.
gestures for things.
Yeah.
So it's just looking to play the hit on the best yellow rock here, maybe checking over onto the other yellow.
Yeah, it's a slight roll to the side there to make it a little bit trickier for the Norwegian team to take out at risk of jamming on their own. But he'll just sit there.
And again, we're on to these hit and rolls, which will be key once more. Could play the draw, straight draw to freeze, but maybe a little bit risky.
Yeah, especially if the finish isn't quite there yet, then you're best to keep it open.
And this one hanging out there.
Like this?
Braden Caller having a look to see where he wants to place this second red. Doesn't seem to be very tempted to come around the center guard again.
I guess we do this and it's wide, we can split too. That's better if we split towards the center.
It's going to split the house.
Play to the wings.
Surely if you come around the center, really just grouping the reds, might see some sort of a run double. So just want to try and split the rings, keep the deuce.
There's a bit of a problem, Rock, being at the back of the button there, but
so it's trying to the other wing here, between the guards actually. A bit of a cheeky draw here coming down. That's a nice draw.
Very nice.
Off that line.
That's going to be tough to follow.
That's kind of a weird throw.
So Norway's going to come after the shot stone now.
Make a slight roll.
Yep. Going to have to come pretty tight to the guard to make it.
Can't get too cute though.
No, like Skip was saying, it's like if you make the nose hit, that's fine.
Yep.
If you get the line for a little roll, you know, it's even better, but can't cash on the guard. So definitely by the guard and gets a little roll.
Very
Perfect
nice.
shot.
Yeah, I like control. Control. Can we hair last ice? No. Control. Yeah, I'll let you guys sleep in it.
So Canada's going to be playing the run back here. Of course, the tolerance on this is to hit it on the, well, I guess on either side. Make sure that the guard rolls away.
Well, that was kind of an interesting miss,
Yeah.
I'd say.
He looks a little confused by it. Maybe a grab or something.
Yeah, only catches a tiny piece of it, and you gotta wonder, are those two reds out counting the two yellows on the wing?
I'm not too sure. It's close.
I'd say it was a decent result, if so.
Yeah.
Norway's gonna ignore the reds, just I think throw the tight guard on the shot stone. If they ever missed the guard here, though, Canada might be playing hit to lie 3.
Yeah, definitely worth a measure, I think. At least from our angle here.
And this is looking a bit long. And maybe just over curling a tad as well, so that's not really doing the job for Norway.
Just pulled the strings a bit on that one.
Well, when you throw a lot of draws to the forefit in practice and these first few ends, finally going to throw like a long guard, you hit a fresh path of pebble,
Yeah.
and really grabs, you know, a lot extra on you. Might get a little bit more finish as well. And Curse is going to over curl here, chip the guard, but again, a little bit of a lucky break, rolls into the house. Well, this is what happens when you keep your weight down, I guess.
Yep.
You keep stones around, and that's starting to be a problem for Norway, I think. You don't want to leave too many reds.
No, so he's gonna look at hitting this just to make sure they're not giving up any big ends here.
Played each other twice, these teams, last year. Once in the round robin, of course, but also in the bronze final. Canada winning the round robin game, Norway the bronze game. And we're seeing a huge miss from fourth player Marcus. That's a very it's not very close at all. Not quite sure what happened there. I'm gonna assume combination between, you know, fresh path and maybe a tiny bit down on weight.
It looked pretty similar to what they've been throwing for a lot of the weights. It looked around about a board weight. Might have been a touchdown, but not sure what weight he was calling on the hit.
The other thing is when you play on ice that might be a little bit straighter than you're used to. You might be adjusting your releases a little bit. So you try and soften up, and sometimes you do too much.
Yeah.
Not sure if that was the case here, but sometimes start to fiddle with your technique if the ice conditions are different. So Braden Calvert heading to line 3, possibly 4. And I think Norway's just going to have to play a double here, maybe. If you throw the high hard one, you're taking the ice reading a little bit out of the equation at least. So should be fairly close. Tapping the top of his head.
Yeah.
That means
Lots of weight.
Lots of weight.
For us, it was always the top of your shoulder. Like it's usually up at the top somewhere.
So some heat coming down the ice here, making contact with one red, not the other. And wow, this end's really shaping up for Canada now. Playing a draw pretty much to the just the 8 foot really for a 3, and I'd say they probably measure that last draw.
Yeah,
if,
absolutely.
unless our angle's far off.
Yeah. Kind of looks like red to me, but
I'd say so too.
camera usually isn't totally accurate from the top view there. I think the key for Canada this end was just keeping the weight down and making sure that your shooter was, they were rolling to great places.
Well, this one not having a ton of weight on it, and just enough. A real nice sweeping job from the front end to bring it into the top of the 12. So definitely 3, but we're going to take a look at these other stones. I'm going to assume we're going to see a measure.
Yeah, definitely 3.
Yeah, still a great end for Canada. Now they're kicking the stones away.
Okay.
So not sure what that means. We'll just wait for the umpire to put the score up.
Drum roll.
So let's see. Scores are coming up just now. It looks like 4. Wow, big end for Canada.
So Canada up 5-1 going into the 5th end.
Yeah, I got a 12 on it, and it was only top 12. So, hair slower. Getting a hair flat.
I remember these guys playing that round robin game last year. That was also on our stream. It's a pretty wild game. Norway in control actually. There were 3 up. They've stolen in 2 ends, and everything was looking really messy for Braden Calvert. And he ended up playing just this fairly long run, double, whatever it was, crazy circus shot for 2.
Okay.
And really turned around the game for them, and they ended up winning.
Well, that's the thing. It's 10 end games. You have to maintain your lead.
So that's why I'm saying 5-1 lead, sure, but 6 ends to go here.
Yeah.
So. And
Still lots of time to get back.
that shot from Braden Calvert is probably on our YouTube channel if you try and find that round robin game from Flims 2014 World Juniors. I believe it was in the 6th end. Canada scored there too. He's very close to scoring 3.
Okay.
Definitely the shot of the week, as I can remember.
So Canada putting a nice first rock in the top 4.
Take off the yellow? No.
Keeping control of the top of the rings.
Wilson with the corn broom. It's kind of a Manitoba thing.
Yeah. So since he just slips in the rings, it gives Norway a chance to be able to hit that rock. With the 4 rock rule. Of course, if the rock was a little bit higher, Norway wouldn't be able to take that rock out of play just yet.
Well, playing the hit here, you're in danger of keeping your yellows very close together. It might just give Canada a double right back, and this is not a better option really rolling out here.
No, definitely wanted to stay in the rings and roll to the side there.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that call. I figure when you're 4 down, just throw the guard up and make sure you at least have something to work with. Now, if Canada picks off the corner guard, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Bit of a wobble from Van den Bosch, but good enough.
It's tough to keep up with those.
Nice peel.
It's all about correcting
Oh, yeah.
your slides. I'm very good at that. Tons of awful slides, so whenever there's an awful slide, I know what to do at least.
Tons of awful slides.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
While all these, players with perfect technique,
Damn them.
when they finally when they finally have a bad slide, they don't know what they're doing. So I figured it's a strength.
Is it something that you practice?
Well, over the course of the years.
Just something that comes naturally.
The only time I panic is when I'm actually online.
What's happening?
And yeah, not getting better here for Norway. Cornigar slips into the rings. Canada. I think Braden was calling the peel just a hit and roll off. Just don't want to leave any stones to play right now, and can't blame them. They're 4 up.
Nice shot.
So I had to sweep though. I had to sweep by running behind him like that.
It's weird, eh?
I even wiped off my dresses.
I think I just overheard one of the guys saying that it was quite slippery to sweep the high weight shots. Ice might be a little slick. Nice corner guard on the other side, forcing Canada to throw to the other side. Different line.
No problem for Kyle Kers. Hits it fairly thick, but with that kind of speed.
And with the running bands, they squared out no problem.
And now they're drawing around the red stone in the house. So they're just trying to use this stone in the house as a guard. There's plenty of space to come around. So that's why especially when you're up by many points. It'd be nice to just keep that, so maybe even on the button, maybe even back button, because this draw is fairly dangerous. You've seen teams scored 2 playing this draw a number of times.
Yep.
Well, I say the freeze is not really a dangerous call, because as you said, with the running bands and the hitting weight these guys have, it's fairly easy to run a freeze off if you don't make it perfect.
Yeah. I think another option, they could have tapped that one back too. Run the risk of Canada jamming, and even if they pick it out, then they've got something to freeze on in the back for the second shot. But very nice shot. Comes around enough that Canada's forced to slash their own onto it.
Oh. There we go.
And just like that.
Just a slight miss from Cars. But live shot, so Cars going to have to deal with that rock. Playing hit and roll here. 15 is 15 seconds from hog line to tee line.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's about the same as a control weight in Canada. I'm not quite sure.
15
from hog line till tee line.
Okay.
Like 11 and a half hog.
Oof. We do. There's so many different. We did hog to hog. Of course, then we also do backline to hog. So there's a million different ways that teams find ways to understand speed.
Yeah, you might see some of the players would have stopwatches on their brooms. Kyle Kurz has one hanging off his belt. So you do split times between a number of different lines out there on the sheet, just to either make sure you're throwing the right speed for takeouts, or keeping an eye on the ice if it's getting quicker or slower, etc.
And that's one thing that they're going to learn with the first game. They're going to know late ends what the ice is going to do, how much it slows down. Nice shot.
Just some Braden Calvert's microphone battery package just fall off there, but it didn't seem to distract him enough, because he made the shot perfect.
That's mental toughness for you.
Yep. So a super shot by Canadian skip, and I think Norway's going to have to say goodbye to their 2. Going to have to wait another end. So just going to start off with this hit on the red, and most likely going to have to play a shot for a blank on his second. Marcus Google. Nice control weight, hit and stick. I like to see the junior teams throw the down weight. I think that was at least back in the day when I was a junior. A lot of teams, or even us when we started out, threw fairly hard for just the open hits. And there's no need to, because as we said, championship ice, and now it's running fairly straight, even especially on the takeouts, and good strong sweeping action. And it's a lot easier to control these takeouts with the down weights. And you're not penalized for throwing softer shots either, because we
got the thinking time.
Yeah. Before playing, we play with playing time, and your clock. Obviously, there's a clock for each team. They have a number of minutes they get to play a curling game. Before, it was 73 minutes playing time, and you just had to. The clock would run while the stone's running, but now they stop the clocks when you cross the tee line. So you're only spending time thinking.
Yeah,
that's why it's called thinking time.
There you go.
Blank end. Blank fifth end. Nice shot by Norwegian skip. Fourth player. School ball. And so 5 ends are up. Means we're going to head into half time.
Yes.
And Canada in the lead, 5 shots to 1. see if we can get some highlights for you from the first 5 ends. But for now, just a quick break, and we'll be back with the remainder of this very first draw here in Tallin, Estonia, World Junior Curling Championships 2015. So, taking a look at some of the highlights from the first 5 ends, we had a blank first end, so we're skipping ahead to the second. Braden Calvert for Team Canada, looking to play a hit and stick for 2, rolls off, so only scores the single. Canada leading by 1 after 2 ends. Third end, Norway being forced to play the open hit. Fourth player, Marcus Skogvold, with the end turn. Sticks around nicely, so all tied up after 3 ends. In the fourth end, a bit more trouble for the Norwegians. A few hugely missed shots. And Braden Calvert here with a draw to score 3 and possibly 4. After a bit of a look, it was 4. 5-1 Canada after 5 ends. So we're back in action here at in the Dondreba Ice Hall in Estonia, Tallinn. My name is Sander Ulvog, and I'm joined by the charming Alison Krajasik.
You're so kind.
So back in action, like I said, Norway, Canada, first men's draw of the World Junior Curling Championships. Really exciting. A bit of a landslide win for the Canadians at the moment, but you know, only
long way to go.
Exactly, only play half the game.
Yep.
So you'll see Canada just playing defensively. Norway's going to have to take the risks here. At least going to have to try and make good use of the free guard zone. So
yeah, throw in some good guards here and hopefully generate some points and force Canada into playing a bit more of a junky end than they probably want to.
Only really need a miss or two for the end to start piling up. But so far the Canadians been fairly good with their takeouts, their peels. Corner guard by Skip Nepstad.
Nice tight guard.
Now Braden's called for a little tap on the red stone here from Brendan Wilson. I feel like this is a shot you see very often overthrown because you're thinking you need to tap the rock, but you really only have to just play draw away. And a bit of a plan B to tick off the corner guard. So it did seem like it was a bit heavy, but good enough for Wilson. And Norway's going to freeze the pocket of the Reds, I believe. Yeah, it's his little trademark, just a little hand up there.
Everyone's got a different pre-shot routine, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's done that for as long as I can remember him playing.
Well, whatever it takes to get you into the mindset that you need for your shot, then that's what works. Everyone's got their own quirks. I usually fiddle with my glasses before.
Plan B here again for Norway as well, trying to come around, but the call comes a bit too late from Vice Skip Schoolwell, and again they're just going to rub off and lie in the open. As I see Calvert with a bit of an audacious call here. He's going to try and catch the corner guard thinly and then shoot over towards the red ones, maybe kick away the yellow.
Peel's good. Peel's the goal, and if you shoot it over, that's a bonus.
Would have been fairly thin, but he's looking to catch that top red and springing back onto the yellow stone. The danger sometimes calling those shots as your players might try and overthrow them a little bit,
right,
and then you get a miss because you're trying to make it more difficult than it really is. But no problems there from Van den Bosch. Takes off the corner guard. That was absolutely the most important thing. Some type of draw from Norway. I wonder if they're trying to come around the Reds. But again,
just rubs.
I'm not quite sure what the call was there, to be honest.
Coming around, that would have been real nice. Staggered guards would have been tricky for Canada to. Would have been a two-shot thing. They would have had to wiggle their Reds around.
Rolls out there, Lucas, but not the end of the world. The less rocks in play, the more likely it is for Canada to keep things neat. I wonder if the call's to tap the red shot stone here. I just feel like there's a big chance you might be setting up a double of some sort. If you do, so got to be a little bit careful where the shooter ends up. But again, just running a bit straight, not really catching a big piece of the red. And yeah, I wouldn't say that's a great result really for the Norwegians. You know that Kyle Kurz can throw a bullet, and if he throws a bullet onto this yellow stone next to Calvert's broom, he can just roll into his own red, push that onto the yellow, and yellow goes out the side door. About a half rock, I think. Should be close. Maybe a bit thicker.
A little thicker.
So now we'll get a. It's a good chance to see how lively these rocks are.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too happy with the shot curse. Too thick.
Tons of weight, just little tight.
But
not a bad result.
No, I wouldn't say so. Not quite sure what Norway's going to have to move these reds at some point. But they want to try and score with that yellow in the house already. So here you see it again. Martin Sesakir, the Youth Olympic silver medalist.
Looking to jiggle these rocks around a bit. Get some better angles.
Well, again, angle's not completely in favor for the Norwegians, I think. Calvert, firstly looking at just taking off the one yellow. Could be tempted to throw the nose hit on the top yellow. I think you'll see both the yellows spring away. A slight chance you might jam it onto the red shot stone, but they're taking a look, discussing the angles.
Seeing if it's worth the risk of hitting the top one or just using or hitting the one on the side there. If they hit the one on the side, they'll be lying 3.
Or even just nose it and do that.
Forcing Norway to make some doubles.
I'm going to call their timeout here, actually. Canada. Might as well use it. Maybe just want a second opinion on the angles, perhaps.
So that's one difference between the Canadians and the World Championships is the coach isn't allowed to call the timeout.
At the Worlds.
Right.
But they're allowed to do so in the Canadians.
Yes. So a bit of a difference.
So when the coach sees that their team are making that huge mistake, they can call the timeout and come on. Yeah.
Here he can't do anything about it. Just has to sit there and watch.
Well, let's even coaches sometimes build their hair. Let's see what Tom Clasper has to say about it.
Can they not just hit the 2?
Just get rid of one yellow?
Everything. I gotta hit this so thin.
You think it's going over top?
And then it just gives us an easy double. If I just nosing it? Probably. I might go like this and lose our 5-2, but it should go. That was my first thought.
That's the best shot if you can make it.
Do you think it's there? Even if we just play it tight, we lose one of them.
And think about it, if you nose it.
Chip the forward too clean, right?
Yeah,
we gotta hit it like nose just off.
Oh, it's
nose.
going for sure.
Nose.
Make sure you get
You like that better in a guard?
I like that.
Okay.
Out turn?
Yeah.
Worst case, we're getting 2.
Seems like they've
Those 6.
made up their mind to play this double on the yellows. I think it's definitely there. I wouldn't say maybe the stones are the most lively I've seen ever, but Kurz can throw a bullet now here. Should be fine. Well, depending on where he hits this Might just be one red left in the house. Maybe two. But most important thing, just try and get rid of the yellows.
Anywhere from nose to touch high should do it.
There we go. Out the side door, perfect shot. Lies two.
Gets both.
No
nice
problem.
shot. It's a lot of granite moving.
Thought we might lose that back one.
Back red one just missing the other red.
A tiny chance for Norway here is to freeze the back red. And I wonder if the red stone's just a tiny bit covered in behind the top red, so you might want to keep this on an angle towards the center line. But for now, weight seems to be the problem. They're really working this one to get it there.
They're sure dragging it a long way, but just not enough. Just comes up a bit short, a few feet short.
That red's not higher, is it?
Maybe half an inch.
Might be easier for the out turn.
No, just pocket them. They're
Carol's
like right
gonna
beside each other.
run the yellow one off. A bit of
Sticking the out turn through the hole.
there's a chance
No,
he
I
might
don't like that.
take off his own red as well
can
and
do that too,
spin up and out with a shooter.
I think this is pretty easy.
But I wouldn't say it's not the biggest concern.
No.
Although it would be nice
It
to
would
maybe
be nice.
force Norway to score the one.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if you're 4 up and your opponent has the black ends, I'm still pretty happy.
Yeah, just make this one go away.
Yep. Hard.
And that works. Although a bit of a stagger on the reds.
Giving Norway a chance to come around those. If they go deep into the back 8 there, it's just a live shot behind cover.
That was definitely easier. You could have hit half of our red.
I think if you make the draw in behind and Calvert can peel it out, you might maybe just left this double and run for the blank, perhaps. So it'd be probably worth a go with the out-turn draw.
Yep.
Litt mindre?
Bitte litt da, noe sånt.
Jeg tror den er litt mindre. Ok. 4 blank.
Tallin. Har plass foreløpig.
Japp!
Ja,
Japp!
ja,
Japp!
ja. Hardt,
Japp!
hardt, kom
Jobbe,
igjen.
gutta!
Fortsett.
Jobbe!
Hardere.
Japp!
Kjempelinje, kom igjen.
Hard, gutta!
Guys really working to get it past.
Kom igjen.
Hard, kom igjen!
I think we've seen this more than once
Just
for the
clips
Norwegians.
it.
Jæskla nær, Markus.
It's happened on numerous.
Just on the wrong side of the inch.
So, chance for Canada then to lie 3 actually, forcing Norway to
Nose, hair
score
roll
their
this
one.
Forcing Norway to perhaps draw for their one.
Yeah, I think a nose hit here, and I don't think Norway can play the nose hit back. They'll have to draw around 3 reds.
Kort og så bra.
Definitely putting the pressure on the Norwegian 4th player.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
A little bit safe with this one,
Good.
perhaps, and checks the wing.
Is that
It's
first?
going to make the draw a little bit easier for
80.
Scoville.
80.
Pretty much going to be able to throw the same line again. Taking a bit more ice though.
Bit wider than their draw path.
Har ganske
probably just be the same ice they threw for the tee draw before the game. Now, even though this is a fairly simple shot, it's always a bit of pressure knowing if I miss this one, we lose the game.
Yeah.
And
As a skip, you have to prepare for that.
he's used to playing third, you know. His first season really as a fourth player. Well, surely he did skip his team a few years ago, but
Ooh, just coming up short.
not helping him here. Oh, that's a big miss. And a steal of 3 for Canada. It's going to make this an 8-1 game. And I'd say that's pretty much lights out for Norway.
It's hard to come back from, that's for sure.
Technically, they could shake hands right now. You have to play 6 ends in the round robin of a championship. Have to play 8 ends if it's a playoff game, but I think the Norwegians are going to have to just try a few more ends, you know, especially being the first game. You might want to finish on a good note and make a few good shots and maybe score a deuce before
shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be able to throw a few extra rocks to get to know the ice. You know, if this was later in the week, you'd probably see them shake right away, but
good chance to learn the ice, see what it's doing in the later ends. They're going to be throwing a lot of draws here, so.
And I said it's pretty much just trying to forget the game right now already and just make a few good shots and start preparing for the next one, I think. Because I can't really see them coming back from this.
That's tough.
As a commentator, want to keep things interesting, but this is looking really tough.
Yeah.
So, Braden Calvert.
Going through.
4th place last year. I can imagine with how hard it is to qualify from Canada to get to the World Juniors. It's got to be really tough to end up in 4th.
It's a tough pill to swallow, that's for sure. I'm sure they're hungry to get a medal this year, having another chance at the World Championship.
Well, back-to-back juniors for the Canadian team. Remember Charlie Thomas did that? 2006-07, I believe. Yep. And John Morris back in 98-99.
Yep.
But they also won both the World Juniors.
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Their banners are hanging up in the Ottawa Curling Club to remind everyone how amazing they are.
Can't remember too many other teams that has done that.
Yeah,
on the
that's
men's
pretty
side
incredible
anyway.
To win Worlds twice.
Obviously, Eve Muirhead on the women's
of course.
won 4
Eve's
out of 5 years, and the only year she didn't represent was when she played the Olympics. So
Eve has a very, very impressive resume.
But for the men's, that's the back-to-back goals happened twice.
Yeah, that bronze medal game is a hard one to, especially if you're playing in the semi-final game and just come up a bit short. It's a hard one to bounce back from, but winning a bronze medal is just an incredible feeling. So I'm sure it was really hard for the guys last year. So
I've been on both ends of that into juniors. Losing the 3-4 page, winning the bronze, and then the year after in Östersund we lost the semi and lost the bronze.
Okay.
So
that's tough.
It's been pretty tough.
So with the flash there, we're going to see Norway take advantage of their 2 guards that they've just put up and make a good one around, and might be able to generate 2 or maybe 3 here. We'll see.
For all we know, these 2 teams might be in the final at the end of the week, but there's
first game you're always shaking off some nerves and you're still getting used to the conditions. I doubt Norway's going to have this many blowouts for the rest of the competition.
Yeah, they had a really good season, actually. Won a few of the European Junior Curling Tour events. Had a bit of a stumble at the national championship. They didn't win, actually, but they were picked way ahead of the junior nationals being held.
Okay.
It's kind of our system. The best team over the course of the season usually goes to championships.
Oh, that's a tough miss.
Another one.
Oh, I'll try to run them.
Is he pushing those? They're
Well.
coming right in the room.
Kind of makes you wonder. He had that same shot. Was the first end? Making the hit and roll.
Yeah, true. It's that same spot.
And yeah, exact same spot. Just missing that one as well. So
I'm telling you, the outturn
yeah,
sliding to the left
There
of the
you
sheet
go.
there. I don't like it.
you know best.
Well, that's for me. I'm not a professional like you. Right, so at least giving Norway a bit of a glimmer of hope to get back in the game here. You know, scoring 3 or 4 would probably make them
A little bit happier.
yeah,
I'd say so.
but still a long way to go in this end to get there.
Yeah. So they've elected to switch turns here. Going to throw the intern at it.
I guess they were looking for the double earlier, but now they're just concerned about taking off the guard. Oh, they actually played the run back. Wow,
Ooh,
so close to making a mole fly. Actually,
nice shot.
a bit of a
Just misses that back one.
cheeky call. Run
Yeah.
back.
As long as you miss it on the good side. Nothing worse than just missing the run back and sticking your shooter there.
Yeah, there's definitely the risk from playing that shot, but came off really well for them.
Something the player obviously felt very confident about in the hack, so
Well, Kurs has had a good game. 79% from what we can see. The Curlet stats.
yep. Got Canada playing a team total of 82% so far, and Norway at 76.
Like that.
So advantage Canada.
I like hitting the back one.
Yeah.
Hit the back one.
I've been told we're going to get some percentages and stats for the future games, the televised games,
I like control. I like control.
but not for all the games.
We hit the top one, it's fine.
So bringing the weight down a little bit here, Kurs.
Oh! Yep,
Nice
yep.
shot by Norway to
Hard.
get one
Hard.
right on the top there.
Hard.
Buried.
Oh! Oh!
Yes, yes,
Yep,
yes.
Nice shot.
Yeah,
Just staying for shot too.
kind of playing with that top yellow.
Mhm.
Could have been a bit disastrous just taking off that without
Yeah.
removing anyone.
Sorry, pal.
Good shot. Good shot.
Yeah,
I think if Norway can just come down to that one and just tap it a hair,
I like
lie too.
I think I'd be tempted to tap it just through the house because that corner guard still in plays fairly tight to the house, so you might have
A shot at getting.
a split on that if there's no reds in the house with your last rock.
Yeah, fair enough.
When you're 7 down, I think it's fair to
Worth a shot.
kind of think about that. But usually just a little tap to lie 2 hairs. Real good.
Looks like a small tap here.
That's a very good shot.
Very nice. There's the enthusiasm.
Yeah, they've been working with a mental coach for a little bit. A guy that used to train the
He knows the
Norwegian
back when you get
ski
it too.
jumping
Yeah.
team,
Okay.
like in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And
the top.
Yeah, so the hell will work with that. So I'm not sure if that's a part of their plan to celebrate when they make good shots, just to kind of
Uplift.
yeah.
Well, curling's such a mental game. I think it's so important to stay tough and be able to bounce back from games like this. Have the confidence going into the next game.
Well, some players believe in you know, a bit of a release of emotions to reward themselves for making good shots, and mentally makes you want to make more shots later on. So maybe that's the thing for other guys.
And just visualizing the good shots that you had, keeping those in mind. Throw away the bad ones.
Good.
Nice shot by Calvert. Once again, looking pretty good for him as well. 83% for him. His takeouts has been sublime. That's 90% for 10 takeouts.
Hva tror du? Den? Jeg tror den, jeg også.
Before the shot even.
Bit 8 da. Bit 8 halvjevnt. Fire.
So Marcus Skogvold he's made a few errors in this game. Remember him back in the fourth end, he completely flashed a shot, allowing Braden Calvert to score a bunch. And he also missed that draw in the previous end to give up a steal of 3, so he hasn't quite been on point yet.
No, this one looks like it's going to run a bit deep. Hopefully hanging on time. Just sit and shot.
Just enough, and not sure if Braden Calvert's going to take on the double. It's probably a bit too risky.
Yeah. At this point, you're 8-1 up. It's best just to hit the open one.
I like this one.
Concede your deuce. You've got hammer in the 8th end, and advantage is still towards Canada, so.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yep. Yep.
Hard.
Another good shot by Calvert. Removes Zalo. Norway will have a chance to score 2, but it's not like a big dent in the scoreboard.
No. Fortunately, that just won't cut it.
Well, like I mentioned,
But a great end all the same. You know, some misses from Canada, and they really capitalized on those misses. So.
yeah. So again, just good for Norway to be able to score 2 here if we can make the draw, and just come off the game with a nice end in mind.
T-line, bare deres. T-line.
I'm not quite sure if they're gonna continue playing. Let's see. Nice draw here though, so 2 good shots from Marcus. And it's going to feel a lot better. But they will play on. So after 7 ends, 8-3. 3 ends to go.
Again, getting a good feel. The guys are being able to capitalize on the draw weight. Seeing what it does in the later ends for their next game when they're out there, and they know exactly, oh well, it's good to be able to have something in comparison. In the 8th end of the last game, we know that this happened. And
well, they're going to play a team that's probably played 9 or 10 ends in the next game, and you know, you don't want to have bad ends of curling
Right.
as the last thing you did before the
Right.
next game. So, like we mentioned, just if they can play a few good ends here, they'll feel a bit better when they come off the ice.
Yeah.
But there is a chance. You can steal 2 now in the all the remaining ends.
Yeah. Get some good guards up.
Helt ned på 3, gutta. En da, eller?
Linje er grei.
And see, sometimes easy
Ja,
for
over, ja. Men det er en er greit.
teams that are up by a bunch to be a little bit complacent, and you start missing a few more shots, you get a little bit frustrated because you feel like you've won already.
Right.
And you're just like on the ice still.
Going through the motions.
Yeah.
You have to remember to still stay actively into the game, and sometimes it's so easy to check out every so once in a while and look at the other sheets, and I know I'm guilty of that. It's a bad habit that you need to kick.
Yeah, and then very often when you miss, you know it's because you didn't really focus.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the worst way to miss as well.
And that's where your mental toughness coach comes in, sports psychologist, and helps you with that, or maybe your team points it out and
Get in the forefoot. Hard.
you need to make that change.
Nice draw. So Wilson's on point.
Full 8 ser det ut som.
He's had a pretty good game at 94% prior to that shot, so even a bit more perhaps.
Yeah.
Very steady. Epstein has had really nice draw weight,
Litt svak.
but
Tror han litt svak.
missed a few takeouts.
Wow, ha plass.
Gjerne på linje.
Martin,
Linje er bra. Gjerne på linje. OK, linje er bra.
helt nedpå.
Linje er nydelig.
Linjen strøken.
Linje er
Martin,
nydelig. Jobbe, gutta.
kom igjen da.
Jobbe, gutta. Helt
Helt
ut.
nedpå.
So again, you'll see
Helt nedpå, kom
Helt
igjen da.
ut.
fairly decent
Hvis
draw
vi
weight.
ikke får den helt nedpå, så må vi legge den igjen som guard, altså.
Looking for the freeze.
Two flashes, fine.
A bit surprised they didn't just play the 2 center guards here, knowing that they have to steal.
Half rock.
Yeah, I am too.
Steal.
So I guess this is not fully buried since Calvert's called for the peel on this yellow.
Oh, oh, oh.
Big weight. Just needs to catch a piece, really.
Shot.
And just enough.
Just hangs on.
Pull him in the hack if he flashes, it's fine.
No, it's true.
So they're looking to play the freeze again.
Full
I didn't give
8.
you the right ice.
Taking about 4 feet of ice on this side of the sheet.
Full 8.
The side looked a little bit curlier in practice, but
Linja
seemed
OK.
to have evened out a little bit over the course of the game.
Linja der. Martin, Martin. Kan vente litt. 6-7. Helt nedpå. 6-7.
Dette er bra.
Dønn nedpå. Martin, er her. Ja, ingen mann. Åh, serien.
Looking very close here. And great shot by Villeneuve.
Just perfect.
Yep.
And Van den Bosch looking to take off the center guard.
Oh, a little bit.
Don't want to play around behind the guards, take it off, keep things open. And Norway's going to probably put up another center guard, and we might see this a few times.
I think so.
Until eventually Norway's going to have to move the red one.
Push it back behind the house. Gain control of the front.
So excellent weight on his first shot here. Looking to take off some weight,
Linja bra.
put the guard up.
Kom igjen, pull over.
Some hard sweeping.
Linja bra.
Guys are scrubbing it hard.
OK.
Seems to be over curling a wee bit too, but I'm pretty sure Callum's just going to take it off. nonetheless.
Yep. Right up, guys, right up. Right up, right up, right up.
No problems there.
I'm okay with facing too.
Lucas looks like he's mentally struggling a little bit.
Linja bra. Linja bra. Litt trang kanskje.
Sometimes
Okay,
it's hard to
Kjør da.
get back from a few misses and get yourself back into the state that you want to be in.
Og dø. Dø. Bra da, Martin.
Unnskyld. Dere kan stresse deg.
Clean. Clean.
Hard weight going down the sheet. Makes the perfect peel.
At what time do you think they're going to have to move the red, Allison?
Oof. Well, pretty soon. We're running out of rocks here.
Og med deg.
I'd see, well, they're just going halfway on this one. I'd see them moving it on their next one.
Yeah, I think so. If they guard again, you might see Canada just
They're just
play
going
a
to keep
draw.
peeling
Or
and
Make sure. Ja. Ok. Jeg sa litt hardere, Martin, sa jeg ikke det?
well, I guess if
Det er greit da. Ja, Martin, hva synes du
to
skal
Skip
gjøre?
play the guard with his first, would you see Canada drawing with Calvert's first rock?
Legge en guard til, og så slå?
Or just peel off the guard nonetheless?
I think he just peels off the guard.
Yes, we might
He's
see-
up 8-3.
might as well put the guard on again then. Of course, the earlier you make a move, the more chances the opposing team gets to clear things up. The question is,
Let's see.
when do you move? Usually, in these type of situations, you make a move on the third, second rock, maybe at least the Skip's first one. But
Looks like they're going to go for it now.
yeah,
Down to the final two for each team.
I wonder if they're actually freezing again.
Halv 8.
Nære.
Wow.
Kjør litt til det.
Yeah, I think they are.
Ok,
Ja,
wow.
ja,
I was just looking at the ice there. Didn't
Linja OK,
same ice they
Martin.
took for the
ja.
freeze.
Yep.
Ja, ok, det er greit. Legg inn som
Not
guard
bad
da.
a call.
Inn på
To make
senter.
this perfect.
Ja, kjør på den.
Looks like they're
Yeah,
going to have to
careful.
scrub a bit to get it there.
Jobbe.
Oh,
Er greit det, Markus?
all right.
Funker det?
Yeah, not too happy there, Marcus. Made 2 good shots in the previous end.
Guard,
Was
make them
looking
draw.
to build on that. And now
Go there
we'll
if they
see.
play this and roll out.
My question was,
They're
if you
gonna
guard
have
with
If we go over
the Skips
here,
first,
oh yeah,
Canada
he's got
just
hit.
peeling
If
off.
he hits
Would
any
you
rock,
think
no,
they're
he's got
gonna
a double.
I'd be,
make a move?
be tempted just to peel. I mean,
If you peel, Norway's
Just
gonna play a tap or a
keep
hit
it
to
open.
line 2.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I kind of agree. You peel the guard. Nothing
Can I hold it back here?
really bad can happen.
he just needs to draw. If they do tap it back perfectly and they lie 2 in the front, he just needs to draw to the forefoot for his point. Depends on what the Skip
Yeah,
wants to
that's
throw
what
on
we're
his last rock too. If he's not
Yeah.
comfortable with his
Yeah,
draw
now you
weight,
throw
then
guard.
elect to throw something different. But we are going to see the peel here, keeping it open.
Clean. Clean. Clean.
Yeah, well, playing this shot, he's
Good.
gonna have a shot on his next one for the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure of that. The question is, what do you do if you're Norway? You try and play the tap, line them up, perhaps. Yeah. Just tap the red to the back of the.
I think so.
Back to the 12. Try and line it up for a jam.
I think so.
Fairly tough shot though.
Take the double away if you can line them up perfectly.
Yeah. Technical timeout called by Marcus Skogvold. Probably a problem with the eye on the hawk technology. If you haven't noticed, there's these small little lights on the rock. They will blink green if the stone's released before the hog line. And they'll blink red if there's a hog line violation.
Oh, the handle's loose.
So it's the handle, just not tight enough. So.
Well, the umpire has gone up to the hog line, so the umpire's going to do a eye on the hog himself. You have two options. You can either put the umpire on the hog line and watch you throw the rock. Wow. Well, light seems to work. But anyway, if the lights don't work, you can have the umpire come out and watch the rock, or you can call on the ice maker and they'll fix the handle for you. But it's going to take a lot more time, and you want to spend too much time before throwing your rock. But
here's a perfect example of what your skip wants to throw. So obviously the double is there.
Yeah, push the red one through so there's no jam now.
Yeah. Or do you go with the draw foot or the draw to the has to take a piece of the forefoot. But it's all what they're more comfortable playing, and late ends. You don't know what the ice is going to do. I think this is the safer call for sure. Yeah,
and Braden's been playing a lot of takeouts in the recent ends now because of
being up.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's going to make contact. Well, I hope. Yeah. There we go.
There we go. He looked a little unsure though.
Yeah, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him.
Yeah.
But nice shot by Braden Calvert.
Looks like the boys are debating.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's it.
Yeah, they're shaking hands. They had enough, Norway. They tried to play a couple of good ends there at the start, and see they're all good friends, getting to know each other well last year.
There you go.
So
that's what we want. We want that rematch in that bronze medal game. We'll see.
So that's it for the future game right now. Canada victorious, 8 shots to 3 win.
What are we playing against you ago?
And we'll get some highlights from the game and also an interview with the winning skip, Braden Calvert, in a few moments. So if you just stick around for that.
I was just kind of daydreaming over there watching the other.
We'll also take a look at the other games going on. You'll see there's a lot of action in the Tondreba Ice Hall. Scotland against USA, they've scored a 5 in the 6th end, so they're leading that game 8 shots to 2. So you're kind of have to think that's going to be a win for Scotland. Sweden in control against the Russians as well. Scored 2 in the 4th, and they've stolen 1 in 3 consecutive ends. 6 shots to 1 lead for the Swedes as they played the 8th. Well, Estonia, they were off to a good start. We mentioned that earlier, and they still have a lead. They're leading 6 shots to 4, and they're playing the 7th end against Italy. The Italians with the last an advantage, and a good and nice battle between the Swiss and the Koreans. Switzerland was leading 4 shots to 2 after 6, and seems like Switzerland just scored 1, so the Swiss are up 5 shots to 2 on the Koreans. So, taking a look at the scoreboard again, Canada started out with hammer. Couldn't quite score their deuce. We had a few singles and then the game really opened up with a 4 in the 4th end for the Canadians. Norway couldn't quite get stones in play, and with a missed draw in the 6th end, Canada stole 3, and that was pretty much game over for the Scandinavians. So, some highlights for you now. Second end, Braden Calvert, skip of Team Canada, with a nice chance to score 2. Doesn't quite curl up, and all he's going to score is single. So Canada leading 1-0 after 2 ends. In the 3rd end, Norway is being forced to play the open hit on a Redstone in the forefoot. Needs to stick around for the point, and does. So all tied up after 3 ends. In the 4th end, we saw a few huge mistakes from the Norwegian team. Tons of reds in the house. Braden Calvert drawing for 3 or 4. We had a second look, and they had to confirm that it was 4. 5 shots to 1 lead for the Canadians after 4 ends. 5th end is blanked. We skip ahead to the 6th. Marcus Skogvold, the 4th player for Norway, drawing against 3, comes up short, and 8 shots to 1 lead for Canada. In the 7th, Norwegians just trying to get some points on the board, and a good feeling for the next game. Does that here with a nice draw to score 2. But Canada still with a dominating lead. In the 8th end, 2 Norwegian yellows in the house, but Braden Calvert has a rock left, removes them both, and blanks the end. Still 8-3 for the Canadians, and Norway shake hands. Another final game out in the arena. Scotland has now won. They stole another point in the 7th end, so they won the game 9 shots to 2 over USA. That is now confirmed. And there's a measure going on between the Italians and host nation Estonia. As we wait for the interview with the Canadian skip, Braden Calvert. So, rocks being measured, see what the score comes up for the Italians. Just the 1 for Team Italy. So, Estonia with a pretty good chance of winning their first game in the World Junior Curling Championships. 6-5 lead after 7 ends, and they have last stone advantage in the 8th.
starting off with a win on the board against last year's bronze medal match, how does it feel?
Yeah, it definitely is good to get that first win under our belts. Last year we lost our first game and got off to a slow start, so it's good to get that win.
Very strong fourth end, obviously, scoring 4. How is it trying to stay mentally tough after such a big lead?
Yeah, we definitely caught a couple breaks there in that fourth end to get that big end, and it was kind of hard to stay in the game a little bit, but we did our best, peeling out for the rest, and the guys made some good shots, and we were able to pull it off.
So you had a bit of trouble yesterday with the practice ice. So how was the ice today in comparison to yesterday?
Yeah, I think the ice makers were having a difficult time with the temperature and that, and it's good to see that they got it fixed up, and it's really good out there. We were kind of feeling nervous for them yesterday, and it's good to see that they got it figured out.
Good. Thank you.
Right, that's it for us for this afternoon's men's draw. We saw Canada beating Norway 8-3. Later on, we'll have some coverage from the first women's draw. Scotland playing Estonia at 6:30 local time. We're at +2 Eastern European time here in Tallin. So hopefully you'll join us again for our coverage. My name is Sander Vlog. I was joined by Alison Kriazik. And this is the World Junior Curling Championships 2015. See you again later.